JamiaTV, Beacon for the Nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're having a wonderful morning this 5th day of December 2025. A very good morning to you and welcome to another exciting episode of the Muslim Insight Show on JamiaTV. My name is Zamzam Ahmed and my sign language interpreter is Mariam Jamaluddin. This morning we are going to talk about understanding Africa's Education Development Trust's interest-free education loan model. And our guest today is Zuhura Ayub, AEDT officer, who is going to help us understand about Africa's Education Development Trust. We also have Siham Abdi, who is a student beneficiary of this loan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing this morning?
We are doing well,
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah.
I can see the bright smiles on your faces. Karibuni sana JamiaTV. So, because we're talking about Africa's Education and Development Trust, perhaps we can start with you as the officer under Africa Education and Development Trust to help us understand about Africa Education and Development Trust.
Thank you, Zamzam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zuhura Ayub from Africa Education and Development Trust. I work there as a loan officer and also in charge of marketing department. So we are here today to introduce the program to the audience. People who have no clue about Africa Education and Development Trust. Today you'll be able to understand the education funding model, what AEDT is all about, and also we'll be able to make you understand the background of AEDT and so many other things that AEDT does. So maybe just onto the introduction of what AEDT means. AEDT in full is Africa Education and Development Trust. We are a non-profit organization. Let me repeat this. We are a non-profit making organization that normally supports students through education financing. We have loans without interest. We support students who are pursuing their higher education, both at college level and at university level. And also we have programs that are supporting even international students. And therefore, AEDT, it was established back then in the year 2011. And it started as a model of a scholarship whereby students were being offered scholarships to study or to pursue their dreams at universities and colleges. But later on, the donors had the idea of making the program a sustainable program, whereby you see now the scholarship model is a traditional model, and sometimes it's not sustainable. And now the idea of revolving fund came in. Now that is what makes the sustainability of Africa Education and Development Trust. The organization has been in operation for the last 12 years, because we started in the year 2011 as a pilot program with the postgraduates who were given the loans, and then the repayment was so well. It was at a high rate, and now they need to make it a program that will benefit even the undergraduates and the diploma students and even those at TVET levels.
Okay, yeah. So this is only for education purpose?
Yes, yes. Okay. Our loans are specifically for education. Why education? Because AEDT believes that education is the most powerful tool for empowerment.
Okay. Wow, yes, that's amazing. Maybe to come to you, Siham, as a student beneficiary, how has your experience been with AEDT?
Okay, I got to have the opportunity to study with AEDT. At that time, at 2023, I was given a scholarship, alhamdulillah, and I got to do my degree, and alhamdulillah, now currently I'm working at AEDT at the same organization that funded me as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now you were funded, or you got interest-free loan from AEDT?
No, I was given a scholarship.
A scholarship via AEDT.
Yeah.
And now you're working for AEDT.
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah, that is really amazing. Let me come to you, Zuhura, because the bigger part of the conversation revolves around you, because you are an officer at AEDT. Okay. Now, what key products and services that AEDT offer to the community, and especially to the students?
Well, we have 5 products that we support as AEDT. The first product is the undergraduate product. The undergraduate product has just the normal degree students who are pursuing their education at university level. We also have the diplomas. The diploma as well, they can come take loan from us and then they can repay. We also support the postgraduate, that is the masters, and even the what is it called, the higher level after the masters, I mean the PhD level, we also support them. And then we also have another product that is called the University Staff Program. And this program is very unique because we partner with institutions and tend to develop university staff. And this is not only to develop the university staff, it's also enhancing the capacity or increasing the capacity of university staff members. And then now the final program that our beneficiaries Siham has spoken about, it's a very unique program called University Student Support Program. The program initially we supported students with partial scholarships and also partial loans. We have so many students who are very needy, students who are coming from, for example, the ASAL communities or even the communities who are marginalized, they are needy, some of them are orphans. So you find that these students are not able to pay school fees at other universities like JKUAT or any other university that is offering the course that they would love to do. So we tend to advise them to take a course at University, because now with University we have the partial scholarships or the offers that we normally give them as a waiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of have different people from Siham here, because Siham, I believe, is a product of University. And perhaps someone who is not able to travel far from his or her county, do they get the scholarship? Maybe studying in another school?
Okay, now for the program, I mentioned it's a very unique program specifically for University students, because now it is our partner institution. That is the only institution that we have partnered with at the moment. And now the program only supports students who get admission at University.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, let me come to you, Siham. I just want to involve you a bit about this Africa Education and Development Trust. As a beneficiary, have you encountered any challenges in terms of application, in terms of collaborating, getting this scholarship from AEDT?
No. The application process is actually kind of smooth. You get to apply, they get to interview you and like tell you about the process and everything, and then they give you the scholarship. You get to your school, you do fee requests and stuff like that. So it wasn't like a problem to get the scholarship.
Okay. Zuhura, can you kindly take us through the funding model of Africa Education and Development Trust?
Well, the funding model of Africa Education and Development Trust, in a layman's language, it's just through a revolving fund. Okay. And a revolving fund means that we give loans to beneficiaries, and then they pay back to the organization every month, and then we reinvest into the program. That means that our program is not a full scholarship, or it's not a grant. It is a loan that we are trying to make it sustainable to the organization, because when we say that we want to offer scholarships, it will not be sufficient. And our goal as Africa Education and Development Trust is to impact as many students as possible. Scholarships could be there, yes, but only a few will benefit. So the revolving fund is it is our main source of income, I can say that, and it is the sustainability of the organization. So we give loans to the students, they repay, and then we reinvest into the program.
Okay.
Yes.
MashaAllah, that is amazing. Now, because she's mentioned about application, her application being smooth and everything, you've also talked about the different product that you offer, the 5 different products, partnering with University, university staff, undergraduate, diploma, postgraduate. Now, under this thing, under these services and products that you offer, perhaps you can take us through who is eligible in terms of the schools, the courses they do.
Okay,
in terms of health, School of Science, School of Engineering.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the program, any person is eligible to apply so long as you are a Kenyan, and you have secured admission at a university of your choice. And then before you apply, you also need to assess your capacity, because remember, our main source of income or our sustainability is through the revolving fund. So you must be able to prove a steady income. When we say a steady income, this is just an income of a normal person working, and it's also maybe trying to also advance their education or to invest in their education. And therefore, if you are able to provide documents, for example, if you are employed by the government, you can provide for us an employment letter to convince us that you are employed, and when we give you this loan, you'll be able to pay to the organization. And then for the undergraduates, postgraduates, any student from any course can really apply. But when it comes to diploma programs, we have only 5 programs that we support: School of Health Science, School of Education, School of Engineering and IT. We have School of Business. I mean, there are 4, not 5. Okay. Why only 4? Because, for example, when we support a student doing a diploma in School of Education, this person, they might not get job or they might not get employed early. They can try to look for some low earning income or even start their own schools. Same to School of Health Science, someone can start their own pharmacy. Same to School of Business and IT, I mean Engineering and IT. Like, they're just technical courses that many people tend to invest in at a university level. So for diploma program, we only support 4 schools. For undergrads, masters, PhD, any course from any university. And so long as you can just prove a steady income, then you can come at any time. Our offices are open, and we take you through the application process so that you can benefit from the program. Yes.
Okay. Don't you think it's limited to the people perhaps who have no steady income?
Considering that, we will say it is not, because remember we mentioned about Umma University. With Umma University, we have the partial scholarships. But now, if a student is not able or they have low income, then they are not able to get or to fund their education at these other universities. They can take offers at Umma University. So with Umma University, that means that we will give them an offer, and then the remaining part, for example, if a student is doing, let's say, for example, education, and we give them 50% scholarship. For education, it's around 50,000, and now the parent will only be required to pay 50%, which is 25,000 shillings. So
no full scholarship?
No, we don't have full scholarships. Okay. Yes, they are just partial scholarships, and now to the needy and even the orphans and needy.
Like a scholarship and the whole year of studies, or?
Yeah, for the whole year. So long as if you join under any category, you'll finish with the same category.
Okay, wow,
yes.
That's amazing. Let me come to you, Siham, because I know I've asked you about your experience being assisted under Africa Education and Development Trust, because you've gotten a scholarship. And I've got clarification that they only offer 50% in school. Now, with the 50% that was offered, how has it been in school? Have you been having smooth study in school?
Yeah, so for me at that time, the scholarships were open, like from 25% to 30% to 50%. I was under, if I remember correctly, the 30%. Alhamdulillah, I got to finish my university. It was a smooth sail, alhamdulillah, I can't complain. I never got to have the stress of like, oh, if I don't pay this fees, I might not do my exam, or if I don't pay my fees, I won't finish my degree. No, alhamdulillah, AEDT facilitated everything for that. And I got to achieve my dream and work towards my degree.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Now, as a product of Umma and also someone who has benefited from Africa Education and Development Trust, now that you're working under AEDT, what impact are you giving towards the trust fund?
Okay, so I get to work in a good environment, alhamdulillah, and I get to give that same energy I was given back then to other students, and get to give them the same loan and scholarships I was also given. So alhamdulillah, I'm actually,
MashaAllah, that is really amazing. Now, because Zuhura, as an officer, you've mentioned about the eligibility of someone who can purchase, or rather who can get this interest-free loan. And you've mentioned about have proof of steady income through salary or self-employment and ability to service the loan on monthly basis. Now let's stick to that monthly basis. How do you do that? Someone who has taken the loan, now paying monthly basis, and how?
So when during application, we normally give them a plan, a repayment plan, whereby we take the total fees on the fee structure.
Okay.
You see, during application, there are documents that students need to submit, including the fee structure and the admission letter. So the fee structure will tell us the exact amount that the student needs for the whole program. And then now, for us to give them a plan, we take the total fees on the fee structure and then we divide by the study period. For instance, a master's program going for 2 years, and maybe the total fees is 260,000. We will take the total fees of 260,000 and then we divide by 24 months. So whatever we pay, 260,000 is the same amount that you will return to the organization at 0 interest. The only charges that will be there maybe is the bank charges, because at the end of the day, services need to be paid for, and we are not the one. Yeah, we are not the one benefiting, but the bank. So one check is just approximate of 600. It's not that much. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Now take us through the application process.
Well, the application process is very simple. There is each product or each program has its own application paper. So there is a form that is posted on our website. Anyone can download the form from the website. So the application form is there, and once you download it, the first page, it has a checklist of all the documents that the student needs to attach. So you need to fill the application form, attach all the documents, and then submit to our office. When you bring the application to our office, you'll find our front desk person over there. She will receive your application, she will review, and then guide you in case of any missing documents. She will also guide you so warmly, and then also discrepancies or during filling the application form, because at the end of the day, we also need to provide a filled or a complete application form with the issues of auditing. So once she verifies that the documents are complete, now she will hand over to the next officer, who will now take in charge of interviewing the person. So on the application form, we have 3 main category people. The first person is the student, who is now the beneficiary. The second person is the person paying. In some circumstances, you'll find that the student is already working and they want to pay for themselves. But in most cases, especially the undergraduates, most of them are being paid for by their parents or even the guardians. So the guardian will be interviewed, and then now we have the guarantors. The guarantors are submitted, like for undergrads, you need to submit to people who are close to you, people who can help you in case maybe sometimes challenges arise, people who are so close to you and they are willing to support you. So these are now the guarantors. To us, they act as loan securities. So those 2 guarantors for undergrads and diploma, they will also be interviewed as well. And then finally, after the interview, the selection committee will go and sit, review the application form. The person who did the interview will narrate the engagement with the applicant, and then give full information, because we take all the background information. So, and we believe that our beneficiaries are honest. So they give us, the person explains to the committee all the information, and then later on, after we review, we assess the capacity of this person, because at the end of the day, remember we said you need to be able to pay this money. We depend on this money coming back to the organization so that we can reinvest into the program. So we need to look at all risk assessments. So after we evaluate and see that this person will be able to pay this money, because at the end of the day, you bring documents like the bank statements, like we can see the cash flow of a person, and after the person has been assessed, and in a case whereby the person has been accepted by the committee, the officer will now go back and give feedback to the student and tell them maybe your application has been approved for this amount, and the amount is just the total fees, and then repayment period is this month, and this amount is what you are supposed to pay every month. And later on, the feedback is given. Now the applicant also needs to accept the offer, because sometimes people will be like, oh, this is too much for me, and maybe can we review, can we give me a more flexible plan? And later on, after the applicant has accepted the offer, we will now draft contracts. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now let's stick to the repayments. I know I've asked about the repayment method, and you've given an example. I know we did mathematics long time ago, but when it comes to money, mathematics must be applied, right? Sure. Now, let's come to the repayment method, and you find that other students tend not to adhere, or rather have that capability of going for with the criteria that you've mentioned. So maybe for that person, what will happen? Let's start with the repayment method, and we start using mathematics right now. Because you've mentioned about undergraduate, 260,000, 24 months. Now, let's come to that one.
Well, for
260 was for the whole 2 years,
yeah,
or was it for?
It was for the whole 2 years, for the whole program.
Because we tend to find, like for example, for me, the fees, it was yearly, right? And it tend to change. This year I used to pay this certain amount. The next year comes, it reduces with 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. And the other year, like it tends to reduce or rather increase. It depends with the school that someone has gone. Now, for that case, how do you do it?
Okay.
Because I'll bring a fee structure for a whole year only, not for the whole course.
Okay, for fee structure, you bring for a whole program, because you can access, the school normally provides fee structures for all the programs for the whole years. So we strongly depend on the fee structure to know the exact amount that the student needs. And it doesn't matter whether the first semester, for example, it's 60,000 and the second semester is 70,000. What matters is this fees, will you be able to pay? And now there comes in the aspect of us taking the total fees, because now that doesn't mean that we will disburse all the money once. Our fees is disbursed on semester basis because of the fluctuation you mentioned. This semester it's this amount, this semester it's this amount. And in a scenario whereby, for example, you applied for 260, they provided for fee structure, because sometimes the universities tend to review the fee structures, and when you go to the next semester, you find that the fees has been increased. So there is a top-up application form whereby when you exhaust the loan that you had applied initially, you can still apply for a top-up, and then we cover for whatever you need to complete your course. And at the end of the day, whatever we pay, like whatever we pay to the universities, whatever you will pay to the organization. Yes, yes.
Okay. And let me come to Siham. I think I've sidelined her so much, but the bigger part of the conversation revolves around understanding AEDT and the impact it has created and how a student can benefit from AEDT. Now, as a beneficiary, I believe you were part of the people that got the 30% scholarship. Perhaps, how did they find you, or did you apply for it?
Okay, so other students in Uma University, where I had a cousin over there. So I finished high school and I didn't have like the capacity to pay for my university. Then I was told about this Africa Education and what it does and what it comes about, and I got to apply, and alhamdulillah, and I got that's how I got the scholarship. Yeah.
Because I believe there were so many other students who did the application, but not everyone can benefit, not everyone can get the chance, right? Now, for the person who's watching you right now, because you say you've heard about it from your cousin who was studying in Uma, and that is why you took the chance to apply and got the chance to study in Uma via the scholarship that Africa Education and Development Trust is. What would you tell this person about? There are so many misconceptions, I believe, and that's when I'll come to Zuhura to tell us the misconceptions. But for you, what have you heard out there about misconceptions concerning the interest-free loan?
Okay, so far I haven't had any misconception, because like Uma is partnering with Africa Education, and I believe every Africa Education student like who is benefiting from this loan or like the scholarship is aware about what AEDT is about. I don't know about other universities or any other misconceptions, but I haven't had anything so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, mashallah, that is really amazing. And let me come to you, Zuhura, about misconceptions. What are the misconceptions that you've had, or the common misconceptions people have about Africa Education and Development Trust?
Okay, there are quite a number. I mentioned earlier that I'm also in the marketing department, and most of the time I'm on the ground marketing about our products and services. But then imagine getting to tell someone that we are offering loans without interest. Loans without interest, no way. There must be a hidden agenda. But yeah, how do you sustain, how do you pay your employees, how do you pay the rent for the organization? Like there's so quite a number. But I try to explain to them that our main aim as AEDT is to empower communities, specifically through education. We don't have any other agenda, because at the end of the day, your money is just the one that you are investing in us. And when you pay us, or when we pay for you, because now the money that we used to start the organization, it was pooled, like quite a number of people pulled their resources together. Now this money is revolving, but at the end of the day, whatever we are paying, is you're also paying back to us. So it's just like we are using your money to also continue to impact other students. So there is no any other hidden agenda about AEDT. AEDT is there to impact as many students as possible. And the organizations believe that as I mentioned earlier, that education is the only tool for empowerment, because with education, students can really grow, students can really venture into opportunities, and also we are trying to also make it accessible to all, because there are some people who are not able to pay fees all in bulk at once, you understand? Yeah. So these students, when they apply with us, we will be able to pay for their fees on time, and then at the end of the day, there is guaranteed graduation on time. Personally, I'm a victim of failed graduation on time because I had not completed my fees. So had I known about AEDT then, I would have come and applied, benefit from the program. Because most of our students who are applying, they don't have any issues. They graduate on time. And also, I will mention that maybe just to insist, AEDT is just there to support students, to empower communities through education financing, to make education accessible to all. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. I want us to take a short break, but we'll be back with more on what is required of us, or rather the people or the students who wants to get this free interest loan in terms of application. So stay tuned.
JamiaTV, Beacon for the Nation.
Kiumbe dhaifu lakini jasiri,
alitunukiwa sura nzima,
sura inayompa daraja yake inavyostahiki. Sharti ajigambe.
Naam, na pepo ipo chini ya nyayo zake.
Mpamba nyumba na nyoyo za wapendwa wake.
anayebeba majukumu yake pasina kupinga.
Mtazamaji, je, unamfahamu anayezungumziwa?
Bila ya kusahau hadhi yake na haki zake.
Ungana nami Rahma Swale na Sheikh Juma Amir,
tukuelimishe na kukupa mwelekeo katika maisha ya ndoa
kwenye kipindi Dira ya Mwanamke.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on JamiaTV. Pearls of Wisdom.
Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "O Allah, I take refuge in you from anxiety and sorrow, weakness and laziness, miserliness and cowardice, the burden of debts, and from being overpowered by men."
Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا.
قال تعالى في محكم تنزيله بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Ninasaha kutoka pwani.
هذا الدين قال الله قال الرسول قال الصحابة هم أولو العرفان. انتهى.
Ili kuongoza kwenye njia iliyonyoka.
Sikizeni hadithi hii ya Mtume alayhi salatu wasalam.
Hakuna atakayeweza kumfungia mtu mlango ambaye Mwenyezi Mungu aliyemfungulia.
Kuimarisha imani yako.
Thabbit qulubana ala dinik wa ala ta'atik.
Ungana na mashekh wetu kutoka pwani kwenye mimbar.
Mimbar zinamwakilisha Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Ni Jumamosi na wakati saa 3 usiku katika JamiaTV, runinga uipendayo. JamiaTV, kurunzi ya taifa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much and welcome for our second segment of the Muslim Insight Show. It's really quite an interesting conversation we are having today, this morning of Friday. This one involves students, someone who wants to study but is unable to get money for fee. Now, because we've mentioned a lot about the impact, rather the repayment plan, the application process, the eligibility criteria, the funding model, and everything about Africa Education and Development Trust, I want us also to know, as a student who wants to apply for this loan, yes, they've talked about eligibility, and there are things that is required of a student in order for student to apply. Let me come to you, Zuhura, as the officer working under Africa Education Development Trust. Now, you've mentioned about the eligibility of a person must be a Kenyan, have secure admissions in any institution of higher learning that is duly accredited, have proof of a steady income through salary or self-employment, parents or guardians who undertake to pay for the bachelor's degree applicants to fulfill the above and subsequent conditions. You've also mentioned about being able to collateral or an acceptable guarantor against the loan. Now, you've mentioned also about there is an application form. You can get it online. Now, also you've mentioned there is documents that are required. As a student who wants to apply for this loan, what documents is required of me to give in order to do the application process?
Well, ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you so much, Zamzam. So, The documents that the student needs to provide, the documents that are with the student. The first document is a CV. You need to write just your level of education, because in most cases they normally say, why do you require my CV and I just finished my Form 4 recently? We just want to see like what are your areas of specialization. And then it's also part of training them to know how to write a CV at some point. And then you also need to provide an admission letter, because now you need to prove that you are a student and you want to take a course at a university of your choice. And with the admission letter, of course, it comes with the fee structure. We need to understand how much do you need for the whole program, and it also tells us the admission letter tells us the period of which the course is going to take. So even when we are interviewing and you tell us that your course is going to take 4 years, we can easily tell, because the admissions normally take they explain the duration of the course. And then from the fee structure, you also need to provide your ID. There are some students who are finishing without IDs. They just provide their birth certificates, and then a colored passport photo as well, and then also KRA for those who have them. For those who don't have the KRA pins, they can just still we exempt them. And then for the students, those are just the documents that they need to attach for us to process for them. Now we come into the second person, who is now the person paying, to a case whereby this student wants to be paid for by a parent or maybe a guardian or any well-wisher. So the parent will provide an employment letter. Now for this case, we have people who are employed by the government and we have people who are self-employed. So you can see how this program is very flexible and it's accessible for, and any person can really qualify. For a person who is employed by the government, of course, the government will give you an employment letter. So you'll also submit to us the employment letter, and then at the same time, you will also give us the 3 recent pay slips. We want to see the money that is that has been written on the employment letter reflecting on the pay slip, and then on top of that, you'll provide the bank statement. Most cases, people say, I have already provided my employment letter. Why do you need my bank statement? Apart from the salary that you get, sometimes salaries are not sustainable. There are people who are doing businesses, and even like their accounts, they have money flooding, like the cash flow is very okay, because those are some of the factors that we normally look before we give someone a loan, the capacity or the ability for someone to repay this loan. So when you provide your bank statement, we are able to see how much you transact for a period of 6 months, and then we will be able to tell if this person is able to pay or not. And after the payer, now we have the third party, which is now the guarantors. The guarantors are just people who are close to you. They need to be able to give you a helping hand in case maybe sometimes things happen and you fail to pay during a month. You can tell your guarantor to chip in for you. And this guarantor, there is a special form for a guarantor, and it's not a huge form for the guarantor. They'll just fill their personal details and then attach their ID copies and passport photo.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Now let me come to the impacts. And what impact has Africa Education and Development Trust created so far? And the stories, are there any success stories you can share with us or the people who are watching us right now?
Yeah, sure. We have we have achieved a lot, alhamdulillah, and we hope that we're going to achieve more and more. So the impact, number one, is we have been able to support over the last time by September we were at 3,800 beneficiaries. I believe by the time we are closing the year, we'll be at 4,000 beneficiaries. We are speaking of people who we have given loans and they have repaid. Some of them, over 2,000, have graduated from various universities, and now we believe that that is one of the greatest impact AEDT has done so far. And then we also have another impact. Recently in July, we celebrated a very big achievement, AEDT at 1 billion. AEDT at 1 billion means that ever since the organization started, we had disbursed over 1 billion shilling as at July 2025. So those are some of the impact that we are giving to the community. And apart from that, We have students who come with success stories. I will mention one of our own. Ali was one of our beneficiary, and he was one of our staff, a very vibrant fellow of a colleague. We've worked with him. I found him at AEDT, but currently he's not with us. But he's one of the person who has achieved a lot for the organization and for himself as well. And in many cases, I used to go with him for marketing, and I could hear him say how he was rescued as from being a matatu tout to someone, a graduate at KCA University. So we have so many success stories of students. Sometimes you can check our pages. We normally post our students, especially during graduations, expressing their joy, expressing their appreciation towards AEDT. And we believe that the impact is great, and we hope that we are going to impact as many students as possible, because the end goal is just to impact.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me come to Siham. When we talk about impact, you have also benefited from Africa Education and Development Trust. And as earlier mentioned, you got a 30% scholarship. Now, please tell us about the 70%. Was it a loan? Was it you paying for yourself, your parents paying for you, or?
Okay, thank you, Zamzam, for asking me that question. The 70% loan I was given, I was to repay it to the organization.
So you got the loan. The 70% was loan, but for the 30% was a scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us
I
about
got to
the 70%.
pay on monthly basis. I used to pay every month to the Africa Education pay bill that we have, and everything was smooth sail, alhamdulillah. And the organization was able to fund my education. I finished recently, and I came to AEDT as a student who was looking for attachment, alhamdulillah, and I got a job in AEDT. So Africa Education is basically a gateway to achieving your dreams. So any student out there who wants to get to achieve any type of dream they have, like if you want to be a doctor, you come to Africa Education and they give you the loans and you get to achieve your dreams, alhamdulillah. So far, I haven't seen like any problems like with Africa Education.
Okay. I want you to put an emphasis on the 70%. I know you've mentioned that you're paying you are paying on a monthly basis. Now take us through a bit deeper on how you are paying it.
Okay, so every student, as my colleague Zura said, we pay Africa, we pay by semester. So every student, whichever course you've chosen, you get to fee request. So when you request that fee, with that duration, every semester has 4 semesters, 4 months, I mean. So you get to pay from maybe, let's say it's January, April. You get to pay from January, February, you pay your monthly repayments. And when it comes to doing your exams, we had like an officer, a loan officer back at Umar University. We go there, we clear. So it's, if you haven't been paying your monthly repayments, you don't get to achieve, like, get the examination cards, because without paying the monthly repayment, we don't, in the Africa Trust doesn't pay your fees, because like late amounts leads to deferring and stuff like that. So it's eligible. I used to pay that monthly so that I get to have my examination card and get to do my exams.
Okay. Okay. Now, as an AEDT, as an officer working at AEDT, what challenges have you encountered as Africa Education and Development Trust?
Well, of course, it will not be a smooth journey, especially when guiding applicants on how to fill the application form. That is the biggest challenge, because our application form, it is a very simple application form. The documents, they are with the student, they are with the parent. I had mentioned about someone who is employed by the government. I did not mention about someone who's running a business or self-employed. So if someone is self-employed, there are cases whereby this person has registered their business. So the only document you'll provide is the business registration document. And there are people who are having companies, maybe the Company Act, the KRA of the company, and also there is that other person who doesn't have any registration documents. So you only get a letter from your local chief proof that you are doing this type of business at your locality, and approximately every month this is the income that you get. So we believe that with whatever you have assessed yourself, if we give you this loan, you'll be able to pay. So now bringing these documents is a big challenge that we face as an organization. We try as much as we can to educate them or to guide them, especially when they are filling the documents, so that they can also ease in our own application process. Because according to our service charter, the process takes a maximum of 2 weeks. Imagine submitting your application in 2 weeks, your fees is paid. So the longer you take, the longer it also takes for the fees to be disbursed. So maybe the challenge we face, or the biggest challenge, is just the application process from the applicants. Some of them, they also take time to submit their documents, and also it makes the process dragged on our end.
Okay,
yes.
That is under application. What
Yes.
about someone or a student who has applied for this loan and is benefiting from the loan, and perhaps tend to not adhere to the rules that you've set, that this person is supposed to pay this certain amount on a monthly basis and fails to do so?
Okay, when I was mentioning about the application process, I had stopped at when the client signs the contract.
Okay.
So once you sign the contract, it has to be witnessed by our lawyer. So we have a lawyer for the organization, and of course, there will be cases of default, and sometimes default comes unknowingly. This person was expecting pay, and maybe it has delayed, or maybe a parent who has been supporting these students gets to die, or something of the sort. So what I can assure you is AEDT is very, very understanding, and in a case whereby there is a delay in 1 month, you only make a phone call to the organization. We agree on how we are going to recover that month. But Siham, as a beneficiary, she said that she has mentioned about her being able to pay every month so that she can secure another slot next semester. So there is consequence if you don't pay on timely basis. Remember, I mentioned that we disburse this fees semester based. Semester wise. So we check your history. If you're paying very well, we have a very well integrated system that captures all the payments, the exact amount and the debt that the person paid, the amount that we have disbursed, the amount that someone has paid to the organization, the amount remaining to clear the loan. So if we check with our SOS, the statements of accounts for students, and we find that this student is not adhering or is not paying on timely basis, then there is high chances of you not getting fees in the next semester. So challenges are there, the default, yes, of course, but it is not high, because at the end of the day, we are trying to also encourage people to adhere to repayment on time, because we depend on this money revolving. Yes.
Okay, you've mentioned about the different products that you offer, and also the programs that you offer. Aside the 5 programs that you say that AEDT offers, what other programs are there for students?
Well, apart from the financing programs, we have the non-financing programs. The non-financing programs are 2. We have the skills program and then the mentor to empower program. So the skills programs, we tend to organize forums whereby we invite our beneficiaries and give them skills that they need for this job competitive market. Because for instance, nowadays you see technology is taking over, and now this year actually we are planning to engage more in skills program, especially in the tech world, AI and everything of the sort. So any person watching this and is able maybe to give skills to students, beneficiaries, remember these are students who are just, maybe some of them are orphans, some of them are needy, and they need to be empowered. So if we give them, if we finance them, if we give them the education they need, we also need to give them the skills that they need to the job market. And then when we speak about the mentor to empower, we have beneficiaries who have successfully finished their courses and ventured into very good opportunities out there. So we try to link our successful beneficiaries with students who are still in session so that they can give them mentorship programs. They can advise them, they can give them career guidance and anything that they need to achieve their dreams at colleges and universities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Siham, with these few or the programs that has been mentioned by Zuhura, which one did you benefit from mostly?
Okay, at our school we had a work-study program. That work-study program was assigned to different departments in Umma University. We had the IT departments, we had different departments, the library. You get to have different skills. Every semester, we had a specific departments we were set to go, like, achieve skills from. So that made us able to get some skills before even finishing our study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Now, let me come to issues when it comes to partnership. No, there are other organizations that are working with the same idea. They are working in similar sectors as AEDT. Now, is AEDT open to organizations, to partnerships with organizations working the same sector? And what are you looking for?
Well, we are so open to partnerships because at the end of the day, the end goal is, let's say, for example, supporting education. You find this organization is having program that is supporting students, needy students or orphans or any other person vulnerable. And AEDT is here giving loans without interest. And I believe if we join hands, if we come together, we can bring a bigger impact. Because at the end of the day, it's about the quality but not the quantity. So we want to encourage any organization that is doing the same cause. IMMA, you are supporting education, you are having loans. There are some organizations that normally give partial loans, partial scholarships. We can come and top up as AEDT, we pay the loan part, and then the organization can commit themselves to the to AEDT so that we can still get more funds to impact as many as possible. Our end goal is just to bridge the gap between students' skills and the financial issues or the socio-economic programs that are hindering them from achieving their goal. So if organizations are out there doing the same cause, we really invite partnerships because we want to impact the Ummah, we want to impact students, we want to bring to come up with a community that is well empowered, well educated and able to take the next level. Yes.
Okay. And we have Form 4s who've finished their exam recently. Now for someone who's finished Form 4 right now, waiting for exam results, when do you expect the exam results?
I think maybe in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this person, he or she, will be waiting for his or her results in January. What can you tell this person when it comes to giving them loans? Because they will want to continue with their education, and maybe some of them don't have that capability of funding for their funding for their education.
Okay, what I can tell such a student is AEDT is there. AEDT is there to support you. AEDT is there to make education accessible to all. Any person who is having dreams of getting to maybe achieve their academic dreams, AEDT is there to give you that ability to achieve your dreams without financial constraints, because we will be able to give your parents even a plan that is flexible enough so that they can also try to concentrate with other students. I mean, because at the end of the day, maybe you are not the only child of the family. There are some other children who also need to be assisted, maybe in other categories of the hierarchy of needs. For example, the physiological needs or the social needs, as explained by Maslow, the psychologist scholar. So you find that the parents will be able to cut across all the family needs. Because if this parent, maybe they are earning, for example, 50,000 in a month, and imagine a student wants to take, for example, let's say just education or any other let me use the most expensive courses, for example, the nursing or the medicine. And this person, like this kid, like they really have that dream of becoming a doctor. And imagine telling that parent to pay that all amount mara moja. It is not easy for the parent. So I can tell them that whatever dreams or careers that they have chosen, AEDT can facilitate, or it can sponsor their education through the interest-free study loan program.
And what about in terms of grading?
In terms of grading, you see, for you to qualify for a university or a college, there is always that criteria, the minimum. Yeah, the minimum. So like for us, we don't even look at the grades So long as you
But there is an overall grade that's maybe for the Form 4 students that we have right now, because we still have the 844 system.
Yes,
and we kind of look at their grades in terms of what they have gotten in terms of grade. Now for this person who has finished Form 4 and waiting for the results, perhaps he gets the results. Now for you to guarantee this person that he is going to get these loans in terms of grade, what grade are you looking for?
So for us on our end, we only focus on the admissions. Like you see, for us, the grades, I think it is the universities, I mean the board.
So I believe universities are C+, right?
Yeah, C+, yes.
What about someone who has gotten below C+?
They can take any other course at college level. They can go to TVET, they can go to KMTC or any other college that that is offering the course that they need. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. And something else I would really want to know is, not even me, but people would ask, it's about the misconceptions.
Yeah, sure.
Everything about misconception. Now, you guys are giving us money, giving us loan. I know it's a loan that we're supposed to pay back, right?
Yes.
But someone would ask, where are you guys getting money?
Yeah. Okay. I know it's a very big question that personally I tend to explain and make people understand. So, you know, our organization is registered as a trust. So when an organization is registered as a trust, there are some exemptions. And then, of course, invest. Like if you are a non-profit organization, the only way you can sustain your organization is to invest. And maybe to mention, maybe the donors, but the donors did their part by giving us the money the first time. So it is upon us AEDT to find a possible way of sustaining ourselves. So let me just say, for the loans, operation activities of the organizations, I mean, I can say maybe the investments, but now for the loans or the money that we pay to the university, it is the revolving fund.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we kind of have limited time right now. Time is almost up. But let me ask one question before we close the deal. It's Africa Education and Development Trust. But when you talked about eligibility, you say that must be a Kenyan. What about the name that suggests Africa?
Well, qualifications, Africa, let me say just Kenyan and Africa, African at a wider perspective.
So someone who's outside Kenya can also get this interest-free loan?
No. So the person, let me say this, we support international students, but you must be a Kenyan. You can go study Canada, Australia, Malaysia, any country that you want.
So
but you must be
a
Kenyan.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
and the
amazing.
person paying for you must be a Kenyan as well, so that it's easy for us to also follow up and get in touch with the person.
With few seconds, perhaps as we wind up, Siham, you can give your last take to the people or to the students who are watching us right now.
I only have one take. If you have that dream you want to achieve, you should go get it at any cost. Because if you just sit back and like, oh, my parents don't have this, so I can't go for what I want, that it's not possible. So as you can come to us at Africa Education. We are located at South Sea, near Ruby's Bellevue. You can come, say hi. We give you the back through on how the application process goes.
And for your tech, Zuhura?
So my take is to encourage as well. Students need to take education serious, because education is a weapon that can be used to protect yourself from a lot of things. For example, poverty and any other thing that needs someone to survive. So sometimes education is very expensive, but with AEDT, you'll be able to learn at a very, very easy way, because no financial burdens, no financial constraints. Educational is, the loans are accessible. Any person can come to our office at any time. We are open from Monday to Friday. Our office, as mentioned by my colleague, it is located at Bellevue along Mombasa Road, Mirage Plaza. You can visit our office anytime. We have very nice colleagues, very hardworking and welcoming people there. They'll be able to handle your issue very fast and give you feedback on time.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing Siham here, because she's a true testimony of Africa Education and Development Trust Fund. Okay, thank you so much. I think up to that point, we really appreciate you coming here and educating our students who has ambitions to study further but are unable to pay for their fees. And with that one, I would really read something here on their core. I don't know, is it a motto? Yeah. Empowering communities through education financing. That is Africa Education and Development Trust. Until next time, I've been your host Zamzam Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.